Hi, my name's Harry. This is my audience right here. And this is my card. And let's get started. When I was growing up, I was facing a lot of abuse from my parents. They tend to ignore me or throw insults at me while in a drunken state. And the only way to get away from the pain was playing video games. I spent most of my childhood playing video games to get away from the world. And I thought I was a loser who didn't amount to much since nobody wanted to be my friend since I was awkward. I try not to think about it too much, but deep down inside, I wish my parents weren't alcoholics. I wish my parents helped me find my interest in life instead of wishing I grew up. And I wish I didn't spend my childhood gaming too much, since there was a lot of things in the world I wanted to try out. Like computers, filming, writing, coding, or cybersecurity. There's a lot of wishes, a lot of hope. Hopefully I can do my best to accomplish those goals and maybe persuade you along the way. My personal experience is similar to others who face similar challenges in life and mostly try to alleviate those demons by using other substances to make it less painful. I will say this, gaming is not a problem, but the companies who are making games are becoming an issue to the world when they prioritize live service games. Live service games are bad for people who enjoy video games, which can cause obesity, suicide, and making bad financial choices. And at the end of my speech, I hope I can convince you to the negative effect of live service games and what my audience can do to fight against it. So, shall we? Live service games are games that never end. They continue the cycle of additional activity that will make people die from boredom, from how repetitive it is. You can say, oh, sounds good, more content, more fun, right? Well, there's a negative side effect, like all good things do. You know the saying, too much a good thing can be bad? Well, apply here with obesity to gamers. Did you know 5 million people died in 2019? Not because of some sort of accident or event, but it was due to having higher than optimal BMI, which stands for body mass index, which also means how fat someone is, which is crazy to think about. Especially it's from the journal Medical Internet Research published on December 30th, 2024 by Yang Cheng. And what makes it crazier is all stemmed to live service games. Think about playing video games all day can lead to death? Who knew? When live service games are being thrown to people like candy, that begs the question, how bad can it be? According to the data set from Statista by GameIndustry.biz, it can be really bad. In Fortnite case, 4 million people playing that game. In Overwatch case, 25 million. You get the point. These games have time limits to get certain rewards. Example is Battlefield 6, where the rewards are a robot arm as a melee weapon for only a couple of days to get it before it's gone forever. Or Marvel Rivals, the battle pass disappear after a season. There's many dozen examples of this to encourage gamers to continue playing more, which is bad. So what we can do to combat these activities? Easy solution is to be a good parent. Try to encourage children to enjoy other activity like basketball, swimming, acting, or even coding. Do not give up on children and let live service control your kid. Be the parent they look up to and be proud to have. Man, I'm stuffed. I guess it's time to talk about mental crisis, huh? Suicide is such a huge issue happening in the world. The topic itself is taboo, especially compared to other countries. And there's a lot of causes that want to take their lives. Unfortunately, one of the causes is playing video games, specifically live service. Live service games can be fun, but once it becomes addictive, it becomes a sort of drug that constantly needs to be refilled. Example, Fortnite or Watch. I personally got hooked by them, playing it weeks with no end, and since I didn't have no social life, or barely any, I continued down its spiral ladder till I reached a point where I said to myself, what is the point of anything? I have nobody. I'm alone. I believe a lot of people feel similar to what I felt. According to the newspaper article called Television and Computer Games Cause Depression in Children by Independent Digital News and Media, I know a mouthful, right? It causes depressions in children. I know it's children who spend more time on computers and play video games tend to experience high level emotional distress, anxiety, and depression. And I agree with live service games that social interaction is not the same compared to someone being there, and thus it becomes difficult to come back to a normal society. Another source called Life-Threatening Video Games mentioned those who play more hours tend to be violent and more tendency to commit suicide, with the addition book called Control the Controller, written by Sienna Connors, saying, relationship wither away, possibly become irreparable by video games. The point with all these sources has in common is playing too much can lead to mental health crisis that cause antisocial behavior, break down relationships, and self-harming. The best way to combat this issue is by making all games a hobby again, to have fun and not be a replacement to life. Man, my mind is relaxed, huh? I guess it's time to, raise the stakes, huh? Live service games are quite dangerous to people who have gambling addiction and a child who doesn't know any better. Loot boxes, microtransaction DLC, all from getting more money from players by giving them more content. And unfortunately, for most cases, nothing is being done against companies' greed. According to the research article called Experience of Legal Regulation by Sippi, there's 3 billion people playing video games. Those numbers are pretty high. Imagine children playing those games. Gambling features which can lead to all sorts of complications from child and parents. It described the alert nature of uncertain rewards which can persuade a child to constantly spend, which can lead to the behavior that can lead to a financial disaster. The stories I remember when I was a kid through news channels, before AI became such a disaster, was when a child was involved, spending all his family's savings on a soccer game called FIFA. Unfortunately for him, the company was EA, and they don't tend to do refunds. The best way to combat live service games that have bad features is by reforming the government, changing the way the system works to make it more fair to people and have less power to the rich. Right now, the system is broken, and a lot of abuse and power is going through the system, and nothing is being done. In order to have true change and true leadership is by changing everything with the government, by preventing people from being hounded by gaming companies or companies in general. Reaching to the end of our line, why live service games are bad for people who enjoy video games, which can cause obesity, suicide, and bad financial choices, and what people can do to change it for the better. For me, I enjoy speaking to you all and doing the research to do this speech effectively. It taught me a sense of enjoying the world for what it is with people I care about, and video games are meant to be a hobby to enjoy, not to be a slave for. And I hope one day things will change for the better.